Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Nerds Order Music interview. Today, we are with the band known as Agony Incorporated. How are you guys doing this wonderful evening?
We're doing well.
You're good.
Awesome day. Beautiful day today.
It's raining like hell over here where I'm at. Ugh. All right, let's get started. So, tell me a little bit about yourselves.
I go by Woodstock. I've probably been playing for like about 20 years, at least since 2008 with bands though. Did a lot of punk, did some blues, did some rock, cover bands, stuff like that. This time I get to kind of come back into metal and rock. It's nice to be able to find people to work with.
See, I've been doing music about 20 years with a minor 4-year break for the Army and going overseas. Probably been playing in live shows probably about as long as Woodstock has. I was in Scorn for about 18 years. So this is literally only my second band I've ever played in.
That's nice to know. My name is David Mulcair. I'm the bassist of the group. Basically, musically, I was like in the jazz scene. Then I kind of slowly came over to the metal scene with Woodstock. I used to be in a cover band with her as well.
I stole him and took him with me.
That's about it.
Nice.
Me and Woodstock have been friends for a good 10 years or so now.
I mean, at least as a group, 3 of us have known each other for at least 10 years and we're all in different bands but played on the same circuits. It's
Yeah, including our drummer Steve Kim.
Yeah, we were all playing shows together in different bands, sharing the stage, and now like 10 years later, we're all playing in the same band.
Nice. So, where did your journeys into music begin?
I'm sorry, say again?
Where did your journeys into music begin? Like, where did it start for you?
For me, it was with my brothers because my brothers always played guitar and we're kind of punk rockers. So my first band was actually with them, and I was underage in the bars, but we were singing like punk, folk, Celtic music. It was weird, and fat cops are trying to rule the world. So that's kind of how it started. But I come from a musical family. Everybody in my family does something like that. I would call it just inevitable.
For me, it was a little bit different, I guess. I didn't grow up in music. I mean, I grew up loving music, but I was an athlete pretty much until I was 17. And then I got hurt and had to have surgery and picked up a guitar, and that's how it started for me.
I blame my uncle for bringing me into music, which I love. And first musical instrument that I learned was my uncle's mandolin. And for me, for switching over to bass, I would thank my dad because he's hard of hearing
Go Dad.
and he likes the low end of the upright bass. That's how I got into music.
Nice. So, when did the band form?
About almost 2 years ago now. Yeah, it's almost 2 years ago. Scorn had just disbanded, and I'd been gone from music about 6-8 months.
Yeah, for a minute.
And I took a little break, and then I started playing with their drummer from their other band, and
Brian, which he's now like Pussycat Harlot.
yeah, and Brian brought Dave with him, of course.
I thought Brian was originally going to be the singer.
Yeah, Brian was originally wanting to sing, but no, we formed a solid core here with us 3, and I guess it was about 2 years ago, and when Woodstock found out that Dave and Brian were playing, she called me up and she was like, "I want to play."
Heck yeah. Now we had come from a cover band and it was kind of toxic.
It was
So
kind of funny, too.
everything went flat, and I had the drummer's name was Brian and I had Dave. They were all pissed off at the central person around that. And Jay was still looking for people, so we kind of just moved people over here. We still wanted to play music, we didn't want the drama. And the original drummer, he left. We kind of cycled through a couple drummers because they tried it and they go, this wasn't really what I wanted to do. we're much more settled now. It's nice because it makes everything nice and tight.
What made you guys think of the band name?
I think that's his.
I think you can explain the best of what the band name is.
Oh,
The meaning
Agony.
behind it.
Basically it comes from every single one of us in this band have had traumatizing experiences in our life. So it's kind of like a collection of musicians who have just been through agony, you know? So it's kind of a collective Agony Incorporated.
I like that. I really do.
So he's got his war stuff. I've got domestic violence. A lot of the symptoms are the same but different, and it will affect your life. And a lot of times, at least with music, they used to say that there was a lot of mental health problems in music. I honestly think it's because we don't have enough counseling in the world that a lot of people go to the music to put it somewhere that's positive. So you're not self-destructive. It's a creative outlet for us. And you don't have to filter everything. Sometimes you need not a filter.
Yeah, and like 3 out of the 4 band members, you know, three of us suffer from PTSD.
I don't have a cool backstory.
You know,
You don't have to have it.
me and Steve are both veterans, and we've both been over to Iraq, and we have PTSD from there, and she has, you know, non-war PTSD.
Not more.
Well, thank you for serving our country. And the big thing about music, I totally get that because music is my therapist. Without it, I wouldn't be here right now. So I can relate to that on a very personal level. It's actually why I started this whole thing up in the first place, was to give back to music.
Yeah, you know, and we hope everybody feels that way when it comes to our music. You know, it's kind of, we hope they feel it on a personal level.
Yeah. But my next question is, what is the music writing process for you and your band?
Ooh, there's actually, I don't know, there's a couple different processes. Sometimes we just get into the garage and jam out, and some great music comes out. And then there's other times where one of us will have been working on a song for a while or something like that, and we'll just bring it in and be like, hey, I've got this, let's write around it.
Yeah, I do like having the free jams. Some good stuff comes out of it. Johnny's Fun was actually a jam session, and I only recorded a snippet of it and then developed it later. It was never meant to be a song. It just went poof, there it was. So I'll take them. I'll take them when they come. All right. Other times we're trying to be more precise and we'll record everything because I'm really annoying. Like I want to do it section by section. I want to kind of hear the song from afar so I can tell. Well, you know, I don't want to do too much in the wrong places either. It needs to build right on dynamics. I want it to be smooth. So sometimes I'm pickier about it.
Yeah, and Johnny's Fine kind of took on a life of its own. We came in here, we jammed it, and we were putting it on the album, but we didn't expect it, you know, to really make its way around the way it has. And it's like, and we released a single after that, and nobody like it. Johnny's Fine still overshadows the single we have now. It's like, wow. It just kind of took on a form of its own and said, I'm going this way.
Yeah.
Speaking of Johnny's Fine, what was the meaning behind that song?
So the meaning behind Johnny's Fine is a commentary on no-knock grades in general. My thing is people have been smoking pot in their houses for a very long time. Most of the time, they're just doing it on their own. They're not violent. In this case, I'd say Johnny's a musician. He's sitting there, he's working on his music, he's smoking a bowl, he's really not bothering anyone. And then there's just this vibe of somebody busting down your door and causing all this chaos when what was already there was not chaos. Somebody dies. I'm going, we're seeing this a lot, even with people who don't have anything on. I'm like, it doesn't justify having that amount of force used for something like that. It's too much. It's overdone. So I don't really blame people for kind of ignoring the law in a sense. I'm like, you risk your life anyway, and even if you are peaceful, it kind of doesn't matter. At the same time, it gets really annoying to continue to try and educate people and be like, I will throw you a mountain of books and research and all of this, and we can look at the whole debate from all sides, especially when it comes to just drugs in general. But I mean, we just seem to keep doing the same thing, even when it doesn't work, and even when people are dying. I'm going,
It's a weak song.
It's still a weed song, but
It's an angry weed song.
I mean, it's one of those songs that the message is serious, but the music is light and happy. I don't, that happens all the
I don't
time.
think I've ever written a happy beat song. I don't know.
Haven't been high lately, Jay? What's wrong?
I don't know. It's turned out not so happy.
Well, honestly, songs like that help the message sink in. When the lyrics are like really meaningful, but the music is kind of not, it really does help the lyrics themselves sink in. Which is why I like music like that. That's actually why I fell in love with that song and wanted to ask about it. Because when you sent that to me, I'm over here like, okay, I'll give it a shot, and I'm like, oh my god, need to fucking ask about this one. Really good stuff. Keep it up.
It's more personal.
Keeping
More personal song.
Yeah, Keeping Score is probably a deeper song. Definitely a deeper song when it comes to the meaning. I'm a little shocked that it didn't, you know,
I like it better.
shoot off the way I thought it was going to shoot off, but
I loved it personally.
it just got overshadowed. It's a great song. It just got overshadowed by Johnny's Fine. People are still loving that. People were like, okay, we're not ready for the next one yet. We're still on this one.
I can definitely see that, but I still love that one way more, personally. I love Keeping Score a lot more. I mean, well, I'm not trying to sound. I don't mean like that. I love both songs. Yes, I just see the bigger message with Keeping Score.
Like guitar wise, Keeping Score is probably my favorite song to play. And it's like one of my out of 20 years of writing songs, it's probably my favorite song to play.
Hmm. Well, speaking of that, tell me a bit about your time in Scorned.
I spent 17 years or 18 years in Scorned. I guess you could say almost 20 because we're still not technically gone. We're just not doing shows anymore. But so I guess you could say 20 now. But at one point I was a singer and then I stepped down and Cody took over as singer. You know, it was the 20 years in Scorn were really good. I enjoyed every single moment of it. We won 6 awards. It was, you know, Another Mistake was probably the biggest song we had. So I guess if you get a chance to go look up Scorned, Another Mistake, because that was probably the biggest song we had. Yeah, that was pretty much what sent us off skyrocketing. But yeah, Scorned was my first ever band, and I was just never the type to go from band to band. I stuck with Scorned and just kept on.
This is kind of like a continuation.
Yeah, I just kept putting new band members away, you know, into it. And then when we stopped doing shows, it was time for a new project. You know, can't get better than what we got now. I love it.
So far.
Well, speaking of Another Mistake, what was the art behind that? Guys, I'm looking at the album cover right now. I love the art. What was the process behind that?
What's that?
I'm looking at Another Mistake right now. What was the process behind the cover art for that one?
The cover of the
Art.
the artwork?
Oh
Yeah, the artwork.
The artwork.
God.
I don't even know what it looks like.
Oh man, that was I guess it was about people having addictions and ruining relationships through it. If I remember correctly. We had a video on it, and that was what that was all about, was basically bad relationships.
Beth?
But it
I've been through a lot of those.
relationships caused by addictions.
Well, I haven't been through that aspect. I've been through bad relationships, but not the aspect of addiction.
You know, me and Cody had both been in relationships where they were literally ruined because somebody decided they wanted to stay on drugs too long or didn't want to live life correctly, and you know, it starts interfering with your lives.
Yeah, I can definitely see how that would happen too, because addiction's a really serious issue, and some people just don't know how to cope with it.
Yeah, yeah. And I sat there and I watched people I care about just go downhill really quick.
It's hard. I've lost a few friends to that myself, so I definitely get that. And one friend I don't talk to anymore is like a complete alcoholic, and it's sad. Like,
Yeah. Some people can't wait.
yeah, when you can't help them, it's time to just let it go and move on, and just hope for the best for them.
But yeah, that's pretty much what Another Mistake was about. Making more mistakes in relationships.
I will have to give that song a listen later because now I'm really intrigued.
The video is pretty funny. I got a chance to knock out my singer in that one.
I'll make sure to watch that. My next question is, who would you guys love to play with on stage and collaborate with in studio?
Right.
Ooh, that's a toughie.
Does it have to be realistic or?
Well,
Anything you want. Anything you want. Alive, dead, doesn't matter.
if we're gonna say pipe dreams, I would have to say James Hetfield. But if we're gonna say,
As producer, as we're like no guitars, is he gonna be singing on the track?
I don't care what he does as long as it's involved.
Yeah.
Okay, but on a non pipe dream level, I guess I would say I've always really wanted to work with this singer named Rachel Bennett. She is a singer for Downfall Rising out in Texas, and just amazing. She's probably my second favorite performer besides this one. What were you like?
Man, I get stuck on the music. I like this new band. I don't know, it's not new by now. I like Highly Suspect, and I like how they're independent. That makes me really proud for them. And they're a little three-piece band. And I don't want them specifically. I want something like that and kind of groupings like that. And that's more what I'm looking for is, well, which bands are we all gonna, like get along with, and we're gonna have a good time and they play really good music. And we're gonna create a good show together. Other than that, let's just stay flexible. Okay, I get the shot at something else. That's great, but
What else is cool is we have like a song called Betrayed, which is like a medievalist opera act type. But we might like do another song in that style, but have like the singer of Nightwish, Ford Jansen, feature on our song with Katie Folkland as well. So two female vocals at the same time.
sure.
That'd be that.
And a full band
That'd
too.
be cool, yeah. And us behind it.
I will say that we do have one really cool thing that we already collaborate with one really cool person, and that's John LeCompte. And I mean, you don't get more amazing than John
And he's
LeCompte.
like huge.
I mean, he was the original guitarist of Evanescence.
Okay,
I mean,
I'm excited.
he's our producer, but he's more than a producer. He's a mentor to us too. He gets down and teaches us as
What a
well.
cool ass friend.
Yeah, and I've been, me and John have been friends for about 6-7 years now, and it's really, I would say it's honestly an honor to be able to work with him, because you look at everything he's done in music and you're like, wow, we get to work with John LeCompte.
Let's hope to do that too.
This guy has won Grammys. We get to work with him.
That's awesome. I love Evanescence. Like, I love their stuff. So that's
I as far as me to him, he's a straight shooter. Okay, I can have a conversation with him, and he's gonna push you, and you're gonna push back. As long as you're not a complete asshole about it, everything can work. But it's good to have it sometimes with a little bit of a fire of no, let's go this way, because sometimes we come in, we at least in the beginning. And there'd be pieces of the song missing, like there wouldn't be a chorus or there wouldn't be a bridge or
Yeah,
something.
like for example,
transition
we
is
added
weird.
the chorus to
So you
Giant
start
Song.
listening too much to your own music, and you need those perspectives to let's get it structured a little bit better. It can be better.
Yeah,
Better.
John's really good at like getting me out of my tunnel on guitar. Like we'll go down and record, and I'll be set in stone in my mind on what I'm doing, and all of a sudden he'll be like, well, what if you did this? And it's like, oh, wow, my tunnel just opened and I'm seeing a lot more with this song now.
nice. That's
And
amazing.
He actually gets involved. He doesn't just push a button and record you.
Oh, he likes to put his input into it.
Yeah.
That's great. Honestly, having a mentor like as a producer is, I can imagine, an amazing feeling.
It is, and you know, he's been very good to us.
I think it goes well with how we operate within the band too. Like everybody brings their talent, but we're always, try and get more out of it. Like if any one of us hears it, if that makes sense. But I mean, use what you have. Why not? If you can shred, go for it. Give me. You can give me a really great drum roll. Awesome. Give me.
Yep.
I can't do it. Somebody, you gotta do it for me. Okay, do it for me.
He also doesn't just boss you around with it. He's just like, try this. But if you find something that's different from what he was suggesting, but still along the same lines, he's very accepting of that. He's just like, okay, yeah, let's do that.
The more we improve the song, the more the better it's gonna be.
So he's not he's not, pushy. He's just there to offer us guidance.
That's how it should be, honestly, and that's amazing that you guys have such a opportunity like that and a resource. Right. My next question is, what is the best piece of advice you were ever given when entering music?
Oh, this is a fun one because this is one I actually wanted to say to Katie,
Out with
but
it.
the best advice I ever got was when you go on stage, you have to go up there and basically, the way it was put to me was make it your bitch. You have to go up on stage owning it, and you have to go up on stage with all the confidence in the world.
I love that.
Mine's a little different. I'd actually quit for a little while and wasn't doing bands and wasn't doing music. I was still trying to keep my voice warmed up and go do karaoke. Woohoo! Unfortunately, my karaoke is different than other people's karaoke, and it gets noticed. And people at a certain point, they kept walking up and said, "What are you doing here? You need to go do something with that. Get out." Like, basically. So I guess in an essence, I got told don't quit and go do something so many times that I went, all right, fine, I will go put this somewhere. Otherwise, it's going to waste. And I think it's important people understand that you take breaks, you take lulls, and that can wax and wane, but you don't have to pressure yourself. Just go create something you like, okay?
I'm full thinking, really.
You still thinking about the advice?
Yeah, but I was thinking, if music is your passion, you should go for it. Don't let people bog you down and say this is not worth it. This is a terrible life choice. Music is really helps out.
It does. I can relate to that 110%. Without music, I wouldn't be here. So I definitely I like that a lot. I can still remember that day too, but I'm not gonna get into that right now. No, it was a very dark time for me, and music really came into play.
Right? And even if you're not able to play music and stuff, just listening to it or going to enjoy it and exploring it in general, it helps. It's one thing that you can go anywhere in the world and there is music, and you don't always need a translator. It's sometimes you can still understand. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Right, my last and final question is, what is next for Agony Incorporated? What is the future for your band?
Here this next week, I'm going to be sending out feelers to start getting tours set up for summer. So I think that's next on my agenda, is to get tours set up.
And we're gonna get merch for the shows.
We're looking at the East Coast tour and a West Coast tour. So we're hopefully going to get out near. I really want to get up near Boston, New York for the East Coast tour.
I'm right near there, so definitely come by to Connecticut and I'll go to that show.
Right? Okay.
And then
we can continue.
and I really want to play with Sepsis, who I know you interviewed.
Oh, it's Sepsis. Yeah, great people.
I'm hoping that when we go up into that area, we can get a show scheduled with them, and that way
And we
it'll be
can tour with them.
a dynamic show,
I can try to get you in touch with them. I can see what I can.
I talked to Melissa a couple of times.
All right.
I mean, we're in contact, so it's just a matter of getting the tour set up and then coordinating a show.
Right. I'm actually working on something very similar with the owner of DI Records. We're planning a little music festival when COVID's over. We're starting small, but we're planning around and seeing what we can do.
I'm kind of like, I don't really know if it's all gonna work, because when I first started trying to do shows, you had Corona and you'd plan something and it'd get canceled, or it just, there was no way to get as many people. It's gonna be kind of a slow coming out. You gotta creep out with music, but you still don't know. Vaccine's not done all the way, and I'm going, I don't know. I kind of got a little bit of a line for what ifs, but there's the plan, and then there's what happens. I really look forward to getting out and seeing other bands and seeing some of these really cool places. That's probably my favorite part, is to get to see all this amazing talent.
Go back to home.
Definitely. And when concerts do start revving up again, I am going to go to as many as possible, because my life before this was always going to music festivals and stuff like that. Oh, I miss those days. I
Right?
really miss those days so much.
Miss the sun, okay? I miss the sun.
What is exciting about all this though is everybody is just bursting to wait to get out, to go out to concerts now. And before COVID happened, there was some music scenes that were starting to, be on their lifelines, because nobody was going out to shows anymore because they had taken it for granted and everything. And now that the COVID hit, it's like everybody's starting to get revved up and they're like, man, we should have gone to more shows before COVID.
I don't know. I feel like they're gonna come out and be a little bit wild.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I feel like that's all gonna be like this all around. Like, holy crap! Okay, people, calm down just a little.
Hopefully small bands, medium bands, and the big band.
I think it's going to be an
Yeah.
explosion. I think it's going to be an explosion of music once COVID is calmed down, because it's just like everybody's waiting for it. Everybody's waiting to get out.
Waves of it.
Who are the new bands coming out?
Most definitely. And I can't wait to see how that turns out.
You had a lot of bands that went away because of COVID. So it's like a whole new batch of bands that we're playing with now. And it's like a whole new experience, because half the bands we played with are gone now. And now you're like having to introduce yourself to new people. I'm like, hey, we haven't played with you yet.
All right.
That's always fun, though.
It is. It gives a chance for the bands to connect.
It's making things more exciting, knowing that it's probably going to be an explosion once it
Like for
comes to an end.
our next Houston, we're gonna play with all 3 new bands that we haven't played with.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're excited about that. We go to Houston April 24th and playing at Acadia down there.
Ooh.
And 3 Houston bands playing with us. So
Oh, this one's San Antonio. Austin.
That's gonna be fun.
we're really excited about the Houston show.
Tell me how it goes, because now I can't wait to see it. Too bad I can't travel up there because of COVID.
Oh, we were trying to record it.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I've got a camcorder, and then I also tend to do lives, like live streaming. But I'll usually only live stream for one song at a time if I'm trying to do it. I can't do it for myself, but I can do it for other bands, because it makes it easier if they want to take it down and do something with it. Instead of trying to do the whole thing, there's just a clear start and a clear stop. I don't know. With filming bands, it can go lots of ways. All I can really tell you is, if you're in this big room, you got lots of amplifiers, stand at the back of the room and zoom in, because it just, it'll eat through the speakers on your phones, and it sounds like
EQs, all that stuff.
sounds like shit on a recording. It just overbears.
Oh, I know that feeling. I went to a festival one time and I did that, and the audio was garbage. I'm like, oh, I wanted to keep this. Dude.
Yeah, it's like, man, when you're in the room, you know how it sounded. Sometimes when you're just too close to it, which is fine, be excited, be close, but it's probably gonna be shit audio.
But it does remind me of the first time I ever heard her sing. Her voice is so powerful. I did not know her voice was so powerful. So I'm standing right next to the speaker. And she starts singing, and my ear goes, ow, that's powerful.
Wow, it's loud.
Shouldn't be standing by the speakers. I think it's
Super loud, been singing, but otherwise like very quiet. Otherwise, I'm like, I don't know. That's like the yin and yang of it.
I wasn't expecting that powerful of a voice coming from someone so tiny.
It's channeled, okay? It's in the music.
This has been great. I think I'm gonna wrap things up here, because everything I wanted to talk about has been answered, and this is honestly been a blast. It has been so much fun speaking with all of you.
Oh, thanks.
We're glad to
Thank
do
you,
it.
thank you for having us.
Thanks for
Glad
keeping
you
us
having a good
company.
time.
This has been another Nerds Order Music interview. Today we had the wonderful chance to speak with 3 of the members from Agony Incorporated. Thank you guys so much for being here, and all of you guys have an awesome night. Take care.
Later.
You have a nice night, man.
Johnny's in the back room getting high. He's doing alright. He's feeling fine. He's having the time of his life. He's kicking his tunes, laying down the beat. You can hear the music down the whole damn street. He's fine, 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 and Johnny's I won't waste your time trying to change your mind. It's gonna